Myself, Krishna Jha, I am reviewing the paper Deep Learning for Real Estate Prediction. In this study, author is trying to predict the real estate value for any urban area, which is based on the factor like finance, development, politics related influence. Especially we know like in the California and Texas, the investment of the housing market is kind of little bit crazy, and usually the cities with high property values is determined based on the different parameters like school rating, connectivity, low crime rate, public transport, walkability, and other factors. So such city is kind of high demand, and the author is trying to do a study so that it will get a good value of the any particular home or real estate for a good ROI as well as for best residency purpose. Objective and the data for this studies is based on the data set from the Switzerland residential area, and author is trying to do a couple of modeling against these data to find the projected value for a real estate. And mostly author focus on the gradient booster regression GBR modeling analysis for this research. And the data containing like 88 k plus sample data between the duration of 2011 to 2017, and where author is trying to project the property based on the transaction happened for the based on the several attribute and parameter of the data set. And the data is mostly data set is mostly influenced as a data dictionary, and this data is used against the deep learning model for GBR and other model related analysis. As I said, like the data description and visualization is important part of this study, and author try to have a smoother visualization based on the different parameter as mentioned in the slide deck. Some of the example is plotting the area against the higher price attribute is kind of like a key for visualization, and also the relationship between the price and age of the corresponding property, which also leads the higher price. And newer and older homes also one of the parameter to be a mean a square analysis for a higher property price. And in the current visualization as shows in the diagram, the visualization of the key variable like area, uh, year, and other transaction attribute kind of like a kind of like a forming a group of micro location, and those micro location indicate the mean price, and the different price came out of the models. So different models run again through the data set. And as I said, like deep learning methodology used in linear regression, meta model, GBR, and deep learning like use the neurons layers concept and pyramidal structure, flat structure, and authors try to use the predictive performance of these above model to based on the mean square prediction error MSE for the logarithmic transaction price for a property. And last not least, uh, the whole analysis is based on the analysis based on the deep learning methodology, and the result is influenced with the different models, like mainly four models run against through the data set like linear regression, meta model, GBR, and deep learning. And the data shows like there's a slightly difference in the result in MSE on both validation and test data. The linear model achieved like a test MSE 0.0383, uh, GBR reached like 0.0367, deep learning 0.0373, and last not least, meta model is 0.0332. And after having all the analysis, author came into conclusion like the meta model achieved the highest predictive accuracy, and the second was model is GBR. Although GBR is a most popular way to try to do this kind of deep learning, especially for the real estate market, where we train the GBR model, try to create the MSE, and see the satisfying factor for that analysis result against the test data and validation data, and finally predict the data against that data set, whether it's a test data or validation data. But although um, um, GBR got a second rank in this analysis, and and um, and other two analysis, there's no much more difference on the result in terms of MSE. The figure also shows there is a possibility of some overfitting occurrence of the deep learning model in the difference between the validation on the test MSE relatively large. And finally, the linear model achieved the lowest predictive accuracy. We can see in the graph all the four model and their respective MSE against the test data and validation set. There is an important analysis done by this study is comparing the T and P value, and using a different regression model, the estimated value, T value, and then analysis again the P and T value is kind of critical for getting a conclusion where we are in both the four modeling analysis. And we can see from the tabular format the T and P value reported in below table. The result indicate that the linear model is significantly worse than the deep learning model, and that the difference between the GBR and the deep learning is not significantly at 5% level. In addition, of meta model is clearly superior to the deep learning model. So this give a more evidence that like the meta model is definitely superior for this study, and author try to show the accuracy of the meta model against this analysis. Last not least, this research investigate the capability of deep learning for the real estate appraisal and compared it with the linear model as well as GBR. And this study conduct the extensive network architecture search and evaluate four main classes for deep learning model, which are characterized by the layer composition as well as the spiral effect of the incorporate model. And last not least, these are the two references used for this review. Yeah, that's it pretty much. Thank you.